Hey guys, this is a quick video on Danny Garcia and where he is right now. Where does he go now after his last performance? I always think that Danny Garcia he always had luck. I think a little bit of luck in all his fights. You go back, first off, he fought Eric Morales twice. Old ass over the hill Eric Morales. I mean, this is not the same Eric Morales. He fought Eric Morales once, then Khan needed an opponent since, Peterson was on fucking roids. So in comes Danny Garcia. Now let's talk about that fight. People say, Danny Garcia demolished Khan. But, what really happened that fight was, we all saw. Yeah, I give Danny Garcia full credit, but, Khan came out. He was whooping Danny Garcia's ass the first 2.5 rounds. Completely shutting Danny Garcia out. Danny Garcia had a cut over his eye. He had no answer for the speed. You saw his daddy, Angel Garcia in the corner being like, yo, come on, Danny, wake up, Danny. So, he was struggling in that fight. And then, what happens? Khan lunges into another shot, and he just gets hooked by Danny Garcia. And after that, it was a night. It was night for Khan. But even that shot, Danny Garcia landed and his eyes were closed. So, you can make a case that, if it wasn't for that shot, Danny Garcia would have gotten his ass whooped throughout the whole fight. So then after that, he fights, Eric Morales again. He beats him convincingly this time. The last fight, he struggled with him. And then he goes on to fight Judah. And I was surprised by this fight. I'm like, yo, this guy just beat Khan. And now he's going to fight Judah. Like, what the hell is the point? Judah ain't super. He ain't the same Judah that fought Mayweather. But even that, I was like, why is he taking this fight? He should be taking on better competition. But what happens in that fight? He fights Judah. He starts off good. And then in the second half of the fight, Judah showed that he's a superior boxer. Danny Garcia was struggling. He was getting his ass whooped through round 8 and 9. So, then after that, I had question marks about, Danny Garcia. Then he fought Lucas Matisse, who just fucking fucked Lamont Peterson up. And that fight, against Lucas Matisse, I think Danny Garcia was the underdog in that fight. And, we all know Lucas Matisse, he's not a boxer. He's a brawler. He's going to go out there to knock you out. And even in that fight, you can say, Danny Garcia had a little bit of luck in that fight too, even though I think that was a tremendous win. But Matisse's eyes, they got shut in that fight. So, I guess, Danny Garcia can beat brawlers. But, we've seen in the past that he struggled with boxers. And then, after that fight, I was like, what, Danny Garcia, he might be legit. But I wasn't like people, saying, oh, he should fight Floyd Mayweather. That's bullshit. If you put this guy in Floyd, he would get eaten alive. He's too small, too slow, throws too wide. He would get fucked. Straight up. But, he was gonna go to Puerto Rico for his homecoming, fight there. They had that song on Showtime, I'm coming home, that bullshit. And I was like, what? Why is he taking this fight? Last time I checked, Kareem Mayfield, he beat the shit out of, my bad. He did beat decisively Mauricio Herrera. So, I was like, fuck it, this is one of the bullshit fights. But, I was gonna watch anyways. I'm like, yo, I'll watch it, who cares, see if Danny Garcia made any improvements. And what happens? Mauricio Herrera, he has a good jab, good boxing skills, decent defense, and a good chin. And he goes out there and completely, changes up the whole game plan. People thought this was going to be an easy win for Danny Garcia. And what happens? Mauricio Herrera goes up and fucks up the homecoming. Everybody knows Mauricio Herrera won that fight. Come on. Everybody knows. Danny Garcia had probably 1 or 2 good rounds. He got schooled. He got a home-cooked meal that fight. That was complete bullshit. That shows you boxing is corrupt, There's always politics. There was the judges. How the fuck do you give Danny Garcia that win, bro? Even Danny Garcia and Angel Garcia knew that he lost that fight. You could see the way they were talking, Angel Garcia was pissed. Fuck it, Danny had that little bitch look on his face. I mean, come on, man. That boxing is corrupt. Mauricio Herrera won that fight. He stick the jab all night long in Danny Garcia's face. And that's why I questioned. I'm like, yo, did this guy have luck? I mean, a little bit of luck on his side, and is he really that good that people make him? I mean, he's a decent fighter, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's elite. So now, where does Danny Garcia go after this? They're saying he's gonna move up to 147. He wants to do that, but I mean, literally, who can he beat? I'm trying to think. I think if he moves up, I mean, he's gonna lose to fucking what's his name, Keith Thurman. He can't beat no boxer. Think about it like that, an elite boxer. I mean, the only two fights I guess he has, I think really the only fight he can win is Marcos Maidana. Honestly, after Floyd fucks Marcos Maidana up, which he is gonna do. I think since Maidana has a little bit of the game plan like Matisse does, coming forward and throwing big shots. But even then, I think Matisse is slower than Maidana. Maidana is a little quicker, and since he's been with Robert Garcia, he's been setting up that jab. So even that fight is going to be a tough fight. And if he stays at 140, who's there? I think a good fight he should take is stay at 140 and fight Lamont Peterson. And even that, Lamont Peterson is a tough customer. I mean, come on. This guy cuts the ring off real good. He can fight inside. So I mean, I think that's like a make or break fight for Danny Garcia. If he loses that Lamont Peterson fight, fuck the elite bullshit. I mean, he is not elite. Fuck. I mean, he got lucky. You can forget about Danny Garcia fighting Mayweather. I don't even know why anybody would even say that. I mean, come on. He cannot beat Mayweather. That's number one. But, I think a Lamont Peterson fight is a winnable fight for him. And I think that's going to be a tough fight. But, I mean, I don't think Lamont Peterson has the best of chins either. I mean, people gun, Khan and, Broner having weak chins. But, I mean, Lamont Peterson, he's tough. He has heart. But he got dropped by Khan. He got dropped by, Tim Bradley. And Tim Bradley don't knock nobody out. I mean, come on. So, even then, I think that's a tough fight. Lamont Peterson has a belt. He can grab that belt. I think that can be a good win. And then he can move up and fight, probably Maidana. Or if he moves up, I mean, I don't think he can beat anybody. Even if you take some of the top-ranked fighters, you got Brandon Rios. That's a fight he could win. But, I mean, Tim Bradley, he's going to get his ass whooped. I mean, all these elite fighters he can't beat. I actually like the Khan and Garcia rematch. I think that'll be a 50-50 fight depending on how Khan looks on his next fight. I think that'll be a good fight. But, I mean, Danny Garcia, I think he got exposed his last fight that, he does struggle against boxers. So you guys let me know, where does he go next? I think he should fight Lamont Peterson. Because I think even then, a good boxer is going to beat Danny Garcia. I saw it coming, that somebody was going to beat him. Even I think Adrian Broner, after a couple of fights, he can outbox Danny Garcia and outpoint him to a victory. Or, I think what he should do is take that Danny Garcia, Mauricio Herrera rematch, but he ain't going to do that. I mean, Angel Garcia ain't going to let that shit happen. Neither is Golden Boy. They're not going to let that shit happen. So, let's see who he fights next. Another possibility is that tournament that's going on between, fucking Malaji and Sean Porter, and the winner of that fights Cal Brook. He could fight the winner of that. But, I mean, let's see what happens. Does he move up to 147? Does he stay at 140? Who does he fight next? Let me know what you guys think. Comment below, subscribe, and just let me know what you guys think. Alright, I'm out.